Hello everybody and welcome to the Gold and Silver Club end of week review, coming to you on the 22nd of April 2013, presented by myself, Phil Carr, and Nick Housey of the goldandsilverclub.com. Today we will be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We're going to be analysing the week's performance. The live session will cover an end of week summary for gold, silver and commodity currencies. We'll look at the top trades of the week, live market commentary and technical analysis, and the week ahead, so key events looking forward, and of course answer any questions at all during the webinar. Okay, so gold price, certainly over the last week we've had some big volatile moves, being very lucrative to be trading these markets with such large moves. So let's just show you the current spot price at the moment of gold is $1,435 an ounce just today, and that is after we came to a low just last week of $1,321 an ounce. The big down move, it wasn't altogether unexpected, mainly because this time of year, seasonality-wise, does tend to see weakness in the metals. You tend to have a good start to the year. January is typically strong. February is normally strong up until about the last couple of weeks of February, and then in typical style we've seen March be weak, and that that weakness has really followed through to the majority of April. Obviously with us seem to be reaching a short-term low in the market at $1,321 an ounce. So really what to expect next? So in the shorter term, we're coming into May. The catchphrase has been coined in commodities, sell in May and go away. Now overall May is not a particularly strong month for gold and silver. What we are expecting is we're getting a little bit of a relief rally at the moment after we put in a low last week of $1,321. So we're about $100 up from that particular low, but we do expect to see now some consolidation. We may get a little bit of a further move to the upside. We'll be looking at some key levels very shortly, but just be very wary. We are still very much in a downtrend on gold and silver. Going into May, it does tend to be a weaker month for the metals, certainly going into the summer months. And May and June are the months where you do typically, and certainly going to July, tend to see just lower volumes, and the markets we may see a bottom put in during that time frame, and then you will typically see August as being a period where the markets will start to really to lift again, primarily because in Asia, that is when you have the wedding season starts, and in fact from August through to October you tend to see some big gains in the metals. And on the fundamental side for gold, we've had some very interesting developments which have really helped to speed up this big move down in the metals. So Goldman Sachs downgraded their price valuation of gold down to $1,250 an ounce for Q1. Cyprus committed to sell 10 tons of gold to pay off their debts, which will bring about 500 million. And the Federal Reserve has hinted or suggested a potential wind down of their quantitative easing program. So all of these fundamentals have certainly helped with the recent big move down with the metals. In fact, it's been the biggest, we had the biggest two-day move last week since 1983. So we've certainly had a lot of volatility, and with volatility comes opportunity. So we'll be talking through the top trades of the week very shortly and looking at some live market analysis. But for the time being, what to expect next is potentially we may get a bit of a lift at the moment on the metals with some bargain hunters, but going into May can be a weaker month, and certainly we would expect either more downward pressure or at the very least a consolidation now as we move into June and July, before we finally get that big up move again coming into the Asia Pacific wedding season, which will be from August onwards. Okay, so let's have a look at, actually very shortly we will go into the live market analysis. Before doing so, just a little bit about myself and Nick at the Gold and Silver Club. I'm Phil Carr, professional trader, trainer and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the biggest financial markets in the world, so gold, silver, oil and forex. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. I'm a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars, webinars and workshops. Joining me on the call is, of course, Nick Kelsey, professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nick spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. It's through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders he discovered the formula, the mindset and the tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy. He also writes for a number of global business and financial publications and has appeared frequently on financial television. In fact, here's ourselves at recently on Swiss TV, Dukascopy Financial TV, giving our views on the recent moves within gold and silver. And here is us being featured in global press as experts on gold and silver. So that's a little bit about myself and Nick Kelsey. Okay, so before we go on to the top trades of the week, we are just going to have a look at the gold price right now. So just to gauge where we are at today on Monday, the 22nd of April, the current spot price of gold is $1,433 an ounce. Okay, we'll take a good look at the charts just very shortly. Okay, so moving on to the top trades of the week, using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. There's been a lot of volatility, so a lot of opportunities over the last week. So first of all, something which we actually saw correlating going back just before we had the big move down on gold and silver, with the fact that we had Australian US dollar and New Zealand US dollar had reached the top of their channels or their resistance channels and were starting to sell off. This was just after the Federal Reserve announcements which came in, the federal FOMC statement. And we had some nice opportunities to short Australian US dollar going back to the 11th of April. You can see there where we've gone in at 1.05578. We actually managed to reach the full swing trade just back to a key price action level for 178 pips. So the risk on the trade was 37 pips. Each lot we traded $370 risk on those trades, and we made 178 pips per trade for $1,780 profit for a 4-to-1 nice risk to reward in a swing trade on Australian dollar US dollar. And of course, here is the big one, gold. So we began the big down move on gold on the 12th of April, and we finally tested that line in the sand, $1,522 an ounce. The price that gold has been holding on to throughout the whole of 2012 and up until the 12th of April, up into right that afternoon, we were still holding $1,522 an ounce, and that did give way. So as you all know, when you get a major level of support gives way, you can expect a high momentum move, and we certainly saw that. So it was an opportunity for us to go short. Once we had confirmation, you've got this big bearish engulfing candle you can see on the screen, and the overall momentum just took this market down very quickly to reach a nice profitable profit target there for a day trade at just $1,492 an ounce. So you can see there where we've shorted 1,516 after the level of support had broken, and we just came out nicely for 240 pips worth of profit. So the risk on the trade, 600 points for each lot traded, 600 US dollars, and the profit on each trade, 240 points. So 2,400 US dollars on each lot traded for a nice 4-to-1. And we were riding the whole down move as well further through the commodity currencies. So you can see there as well where we caught some big moves down, Australian dollar and New Zealand US dollar. And finally, we had a lovely swing trade on USD Canadian dollar. As you all know, when you see gold and silver falling, you will see the inverse happening with USD Canadian dollars. So we capitalized fully. You can actually see here where we had a really nice setup to go long just as gold and the commodity currencies were beginning their sell-off. So this is where we had an opportunity to get in at 1.0109, really nice setup at support, and the price managed to hit our swing trade target there for 144 pips. So risk on the trade, 35 pips, so $350 risk per lot, and we made 144 pips on the trade, so $1,440 for a 4-to-1 risk to reward. So during this big sell-off on gold, there's been a lot of opportunities to make money, not just through gold and silver, but also through the commodity currencies, which correlate and offer really nice risk to rewards. Okay, so those are top trades of the week. So with that, let's move on and have a look at the live markets and what to expect really in the week ahead. We'll be looking at news looking forward as well over the course of this week. So with that, we'll go across the live charts and we shall have a look and see. Okay, so the first market we're going to take a look at, actually, we'll move on to gold and silver very shortly, is Australian dollar, US dollar. So Australian dollar, US dollar, still showing quite a lot of weakness here, actually. We can see this, so we've got a downward trend which is firmly in place as the market is just stepping down on Australian US dollar. It's coming down, has been in downtrend recently since we had that gold and silver sell-off. So just looking at Australian US dollar, where it is at the moment, it still could go down further. We've got some key price action levels just below, and we could certainly see the overall momentum of Australian US dollar is very much in a sell in the short term. You can see that by some of the key moving averages, and Australian US dollar still looking weak, and you can in fact see here where we had that really nice sell short opportunity just highlighted in blue at the top, where the market just came again up to a recent, just going back on the chart there, yeah, that was indeed just going back to a 18-month high on Australian US dollar, just couldn't break through that level of resistance. We had a really nice opportunity to go short, and the market is just continuing to rack up points to the short side there, whilst the market is in a downtrend on Australian US dollar. Next market to take a look at is USD Canadian dollar. So USD Canadian dollar still very much consolidating. So you can see here when gold and silver sold off, we had this really nice move back to the upside, USD Canadian dollar, and we're just consolidating at the moment around the 1.02561 level. So that market still to be decided, will really be determined by the strength of the US dollar as well over the course of this week. So we may get a breakout further to the upside. So if we do get a breakout to the upside, you can certainly expect potentially more weakness across gold and silver and Australian US dollar and New Zealand US dollar. If we start seeing this market break down, you would expect gold and silver to potentially put in a little bit more of a relief rally at the moment. So USD Canadian dollar just consolidating at the moment, so you want to see whether that's going to break to the upside or if it's going to come back down to previous levels of support. Okay, so actually taking a look at pound dollar as well. Pound dollar, we are still within a, since we bottomed out going back to the 12th of March, we are maintaining this this uptrend which we've been in ever so recently. Although we are seeing a little bit of weakness there today. We had a big move to the downside just on Friday, and you can see here where we're coming into an area of support around 1.52147. So we are seeing some support at the moment on pound dollar, so we'll see if we can actually see this price supported and potentially put in a rally back up to that resistance level put in on the 8th of April at 1.54100. A breakdown of support at the moment, which we haven't broken just yet, but if we do break this level around 1.51990, we could maybe see the market just come back to another key level of support around the 1.50316 level. So pound dollar looking very interesting today, actually. Moving on to gold. Okay, so gold has put on a little bit of a rally recently. Since, well, actually today, in fact, we have broken above a resistance level, which was at circa $1,425 an ounce for gold. We're still starting to put in a bit of a foundation now after the huge sell-off on gold, so we're starting to see a little bit of a relief rally on gold. How long this will last, let's have a look. We are actually starting to see that momentum die down even a little bit at the moment. We could see this as further opportunities, in all honesty, for the markets to just sell into gold again, particularly paying attention to Goldman Sachs forecast of gold at $1,250, which will take us back to the key resistance level, which was put in on 2010. So do not disregard that particular level, $1,250 to $1,300. We could revisit that. We're certainly, gold is not out of the woods yet by any means, and you could see, wouldn't take many key news announcements either within Europe or via the Federal Reserve to move gold much lower moving into May and June. We are coming into a potential area of weakness for gold. So for the time being, we are seeing a little bit of a rally. We're just come up to $1,431 at the moment an ounce. At a little bit of a resistance level, but we let's just put it into the daily time frame. We'll take a look at the overall market for gold. Yeah, we are seeing a bit of a bounce just from yesterday's key lows, probably a lot of bargain hunters, but just be very wary of potential for this market to reach even lower lows at the moment. We're certainly at $1,430 an ounce. We're not out of the woods yet. And just bear in mind the other key resistance levels that we could see on gold, which would be if the market can get much higher. You've got two levels, actually three key levels to look at. One's going to be $1,460 an ounce. The next key level above that is $1,480 an ounce, which we were seeing supported on the Sunday night after the market sold off on the Thursday and Friday, which is just going back to, in fact, on our charts there, that was going back to the Sunday open on the 14th of April. So that was a level that was supported, $1,480 an ounce, so that could potentially provide some resistance. And if the market can rally further, the next level, which was the real key support level throughout 2012 and 2013, is $1,520 an ounce, where we could see previous support now become a resistance level. So we'll be paying a lot of attention to that. Moving across to silver. Silver not doing as well as gold, actually, coming back from those lows. So we did come as low as $22 an ounce on gold, broke through that $26 an ounce key level on silver. Huge move to the downside after 26 an ounce was broken. Something we've discussed a lot on these webinars is once you do get a key event area like that broken, you will just see a lot of stop losses hit. Major funds, stop losses will hit. We know that Eric Sprott's fund, they sold over 40 million worth of contracts on silver, which helped the big down move on silver. But silver really not being, silver's a much more thinly traded market than gold, and we're not seeing many buyers come into this market at the moment. So from the lows of $22 an ounce, we're back up to $23.50, so we've put in about $1.50 since that low. We're just seeing consolidation now at silver. Needs something really to push it much higher. $24 an ounce would be the shorter term resistance level that we may see on silver. Again, $26 an ounce. If the market can rally back up and put in a bit of a relief rally here, we may then see further selling at $26 an ounce. It really needs to get back above some key price action levels and the moving averages as well. We're way, way below all the key moving averages currently, so everything is suggesting currently that this market has certainly not reached the bottom just yet, but we shall see over the coming week. We'll see if the market can recover slightly more, or whether we just start to see further weakness again. And if we do break through $20 an ounce, $22 an ounce, you really would just want to be going back on the weekly chart and going back to key levels which were put in 2010, and even going back to 2008 during the credit crunch. The next key level down is going to be circa $19 an ounce on silver, which is quite an important level down, but really $26 an ounce was the line in the sand that we've broken. So just a lot of weakness overall in the silver market at the moment. So be careful if you are getting into your gold and silver trades. We're seeing other opportunities certainly available on the markets via the Forex pairs, which you really want to be taking a look at as well. So having a look actually on New Zealand US dollar. New Zealand US dollar also showing some weakness, so that has been selling off. You can see there where we shorted for this nice resistance channel and some key price action levels just going back to the 11th of April, and the market has put in a really nice move to the downside. There is certainly weakness at the moment. You've got a big inverse hammer there on the daily time frame on New Zealand US dollar, so we may see further weakness on Australian US dollar, New Zealand US dollar, which you can also trade, also via the other commodity currencies here. Pound New Zealand dollar being a great example of that, which came up to a key resistance level just on Thursday evening, which the market has sold off from nicely just since we had that key resistance trend line where the price was rejected just once again. So certainly have a look at the commodity currency correlations out there. So GBP New Zealand dollar, one to be taking a look at as well. Okay, so with that, guys, what we're going to have a look at, we're going to move across to the news in the week ahead and just pay attention to what key news announcements could be moving the gold, silver and commodity currency markets over the course of this week. So looking at the week ahead, the key events to be looking at moving forward are going to be this afternoon at 3 o'clock. We have US existing home sales. So this measures the change in the annualized number of existing residential buildings that were sold during the previous month. This report helps us to gauge the strength of the US housing market, and it's a key indicator of overall economic strength. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, which can mean some further weakness for gold and silver, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar, in which case we could see further strength in gold and silver. Other important news coming out this week, Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. we have the US core durable goods, and that's a measure in the change in the total value of new orders for long-lasting manufacturing goods, excluding transportation items. And that's because aircraft orders are very volatile. So the core numbers give a better gauge of ordering trends, and a high reading indicates increased manufacturing activity. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. Thursday at 9 o'clock, we have the UK GDP, very important for any trades that you've got with GBP in them, so pound, New Zealand dollar, pound, US dollar, pound, Canadian dollar. That measures the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. It's the broadest measure of economic activity and the primary indicator of the economy's health. So a higher than expected reading should be taken again as bullish for the pound, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Then moving into Thursday at 1:30 p.m. we have the US initial jobless claims, and that measures the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. And that is the earliest US economic data, but the market impact varies from week to week really. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. And then Friday, 26th of April, we have a tentative news announcement for the Bank of Japan press conference. So the Bank of Japan press conference will be looking at the factors that affected the most recent interest rate decision and the overall economic outlook, so inflation, and offers insights into future monetary policy decisions. So again, very important if you are trading any of the Asia Pacific Japanese yen pairs. And then Friday, the 26th of April, at 1:30 p.m. we have the US GDP, so another important number that measures the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy, and it's the broadest measure of economic activity and the primary indicator of the economy's health. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken bearish for the US dollar. So again, we could see some further important moves for gold and silver based on this news and the correlation with the US dollar. Okay, right, so with that, if you would like to request information on our gold, silver and Forex coaching programs and live trading service, please do go to www.thegoldandsilverclub.com/course form. Okay, I know we've had a lot of questions coming in this week, which has been fantastic, and or contact us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com, and we will happily answer any of those questions for you. You can contact us at our UK office at 0207 193 0403, or our Asia Pacific office at 852-8191 0403. And for those of you who want to go to the website and just get the information pack, just very simply once you're on the website, you want to click on Learn to Trade. That's in the top left-hand corner. and from there you will have a form, just a form to fill out there to get an information pack, and you will get in touch with you, or somebody at our office will be getting in touch with you very shortly to follow up. Okay, fantastic. And also make sure you take advantage of our newsletter. So subscribe to our newsletter at www.thegoldandsilverclub.com to receive our free weekly gold, silver and commodity currency news, live market analysis and prices. So do take advantage of the free weekly newsletter as well. Excellent. Well, we look forward to hear from you if you've got any questions at all, and we'll certainly see you back at the same time next week. So good luck for the rest of the week's trading, guys, and we will certainly catch you on the next one. Okay, take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.